There's so much pent-up demand for SpaceX shares. 6 months ago, they raised a $46 billion valuation. They brought in $2 billion in capital. Yet now they're raising another $850 million round at a valuation that's 60% higher than that valuation back in August.
Hey, I'm Steven and this is Solving the Money Problem. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. So in this video, we'll be discussing SpaceX, the insane demand for SpaceX's stock from private investors. We'll also be discussing Starlink and Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin. So let's get into the video. But first, hey guys, if you'd like to help out the channel and get up to 2 free stocks, check out the link in the description to WeBull. If you open a new account, you'll get 1 free stock valued up to $250 just for opening an account. And if you fund your account with $100, you'll get a second free stock valued up to $1,600. Unless you don't like free stocks, that is. And if you're in Australia, the UK or New Zealand, you can get a free stock with stake also using the link in the description. Let's get back to it.
CNBC's Michael Sheets broke the story about SpaceX's latest funding round. He joins us now with more on what Musk plans to do with that war chest. And Michael, perhaps not surprisingly, in your reporting, you also note that there was so much investor interest, more than the company actually took on in this round again.
Yes, Morgan, that's exactly right. And thanks for having me on here to talk about this. There's so much pent-up demand for SpaceX shares. 6 months ago, they raised a $46 billion valuation. They brought in $2 billion in capital. Yet now they're raising another $850 million round at a valuation that's 60% higher than that valuation back in August. So the real catalyst behind that is how much demand there is for the shares.
So the insane demand for SpaceX private equity probably won't surprise too many people watching this channel. After all, most of you understand what Elon Musk is capable of. There's plenty of space fanboys and fangirls tuning in as well. I count myself among them. And of course, some of you may recall I mentioned about 6 months ago in a video. Back in 2014, I contacted SpaceX when they were raising capital at around a $10 billion, $12 billion valuation, just out of interest asking how much capital would be required to participate in this round. They responded that there was no minimum amount, but ideally they were looking for 8 to 9 figures. I was a little bit short. That's a shame. The stock's about 7x from there. Bummer. But in my opinion, and I think most investors realize this, SpaceX at a $70+ billion valuation is still dirt cheap. In fact, I'm highly confident that Starlink alone will be worth well over $100 billion at the time it IPOs or soon after. And I think that if SpaceX went public today, which they're not planning to do, but just for the sake of example, I think SpaceX valuation would easily double, triple, quadruple, even quintuple just from an IPO. Now, I know this might be a little bit crazy, but mark my words, SpaceX over the long term is going to be a multi-trillion-dollar company. It's understandable that investors are really doing everything they can to get into the company. Just out of interest, let me know in the comments below. If you could invest in SpaceX, or if you somehow have managed to do so privately, let me know. Would you invest in SpaceX? And if so, what proportion, what percentage of your stock portfolio would SpaceX comprise if you could actually buy some stock?
I spoke to one source who told me that SpaceX actually saw $6 billion worth of offers, way more than the $850 million that they actually raised in the capital round this time. And that came in just over 3 days.
Let that sink in for a moment. $6 billion fucking dollars wanting to get into SpaceX, 7.5 times more than SpaceX actually raised. And that's just from people that are actually in a position to invest. Think about all the retail investors out there like you and I, desperately hoping to get a piece of SpaceX. Hey Elon, please, Company X, make it happen, brother. We need a piece of this thing before it's worth hundreds of billions of dollars. Please, we are begging you.
So there's a lot of pent-up demand in the marketplace. Kind of almost anyone who's trying to get their hands on SpaceX shares is looking to. And it also offers the company a unique position in which they can stay private, yet offer existing shareholders, some company employees, other insiders, actually a way to get some capital out, as they were able to complete a $750 million secondary transaction as a part of this.
This is a very unique situation, although I do have to say, the people that are selling SpaceX stock privately at this point in time, unless there is an absolute emergency, a legitimate need for the money, you guys are fucking insane.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. I was going through the numbers at a roughly $74 billion valuation. It's by far one of the most valuable privately held companies in the world. It looks like ByteDance and maybe Stripe are the only 2 startups, and I say startups loosely since this company's been around for a while, that are more highly valued right now.
And just for fun, here are the world's largest startup companies by valuation. We've got the Ant Group, which is a spin-off from Alibaba, a payments company. A bit of drama about that recently. ByteDance, creators of the TikTok app, among others, and then SpaceX. Mark my words, before SpaceX is ever public, they will be far and away the world's most valuable private startup company. It won't even be close. Today, SpaceX stock to me looks even more undervalued than Tesla stock did in late 2019 when I started this YouTube channel trying to explain why I thought Tesla stock would head to the moon. That's when Tesla was in the $60 range per share, just for the record. Anyway, let's move on.
Where's the money going to go? I mean, we talk about Starship, we talk about Starlink. Is that really, I mean, those are the two avenues that represent the future for SpaceX?
That's exactly right. And for those who are unfamiliar, Starship is one very ambitious project, which is to build this next generation stainless steel rocket, which Musk envisions creating space travel much more like air travel, where the rockets are able to land, refuel, launch again, and keep flying. That project is one he's previously said is going to cost about $5 billion to fully develop.
For those of you who don't know, the sole purpose for developing Starship is to colonize Mars, to build a self-sustaining civilization on the red planet. This is an urgent problem that must be solved. And my experience has been that typically, when these type of comments are raised about how critically important it is to back up life onto another planet, there's always one or two geniuses who think they're a couple of standard deviations smarter than they are, who have something along the lines of this to say: can't believe, why would you waste resources trying to get people on Mars when all these problems on Earth need fixing first? You've got to fix Earth first. Listen, dickhead. No. Let me explain. There are a number of existential threats that could wipe out humans and all life on Earth that currently we have no means of averting. Period. For example, if we discover a 10-kilometer asteroid hurtling towards Earth tomorrow, we're kind of fucked. If a supervolcano erupts tomorrow, completely changes the climate of the Earth, we are also fucked. I could rattle off a dozen more of these, okay? The point is, a backup is necessary and urgent. Things can go wrong which we cannot control that could completely eliminate all life on Earth today. So this is a pretty important project.
On the other hand is Starlink, like you mentioned. That's a consumer-based high-speed internet satellite system of thousands and thousands of satellites in low Earth orbit to beam down this broadband new signal. It's a type of system that's been envisioned before, and Musk has repeatedly said he really just hopes that they don't go bankrupt.
I don't see Starlink going bankrupt anytime soon. It's now a publicly available service, expanding globally, dozens of launches annually, thousands more satellites. It's proven, the technology is there, it's just a matter of continuing to scale. And the best way I can sum up the colossal impact of Starlink is this. Today, half of the world's population does not have internet access. Tomorrow, so to speak, they will as a direct result of Starlink. The opportunity here is truly enormous. In addition, if you think about the Earth geographically speaking, the majority of the surface of the planet, including over oceans, mountains, etc., doesn't have internet access, or at the very best, it's extremely slow and unreliable. Once again, Starlink will solve that problem, blanketing literally the entire surface of the planet in high-speed broadband internet. This opportunity is enormous.
But if Starlink is successful, that might be a new opportunity for people who are trying to buy SpaceX's stock, because Musk has said that once they're in a stable cash flow position, they would actually look at taking Starlink public, spinning it off of the company and seeing how that publicly trades.
Let me know in the comments below. Assuming the price is right, would you be interested in investing in Starlink when it IPOs?
It's definitely going to be one to watch, and certainly they would be the first company, if that were to happen, to not only not go bankrupt in terms of offering broadband satellite service, but also I just think it would be another major milestone for Musk in this market. We just talked about this comparison between Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. We didn't even get to that. I think we'll have to leave it to another day.
Let's be honest. There is no comparison between Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, either as people or their companies. This isn't to put Jeff down. In fact, you guys probably know I own Amazon stock. I'm very happy with that purchase. But there is no comparison. And when it comes to the space companies, SpaceX versus Blue Origin, at this point in time, there truly is no comparison. As far as I'm aware, Blue Origin have yet to launch any commercial satellites. And of course, at this point in time, they can't even get into orbit. They have currently got sub orbital rockets. They can't actually get to orbit, whereas SpaceX is sending things to orbit and then re-landing their boosters, then reflying, sending more stuff to orbit, re-landing the boosters, and so on. Now, I'm sure Blue Origin will get there eventually, but today, it's just a joke. It's like comparing Google to Yahoo.
But there are a number of government contracts this year that are going to pit the two against each other as well. You and I think, will both be watching those pretty closely.
I really do wish Blue Origin all the best, but today, SpaceX is to space what Tesla is to transportation and energy. Not even close. Such a distant second place, they're not worth talking about. Hope that changes in the future, but today, it is a one-company race. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Just for fun, before I head off, I'm going to share with you the most recent Starship prototype test flight and hard landing, aka rapid unscheduled disassembly. I'm Stephen Mark Ryan, this is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. And don't forget, if you'd like to help out the channel and get up to 2 free stocks, check out the link in the description to WeBull. If you open a new account, you'll get 1 free stock valued up to $250 just for opening an account. And if you fund your account with $100, you'll get a second free stock valued up to $1,600. And if you're in Australia, the UK or New Zealand, you can get a free stock with stake also using the link in the description.
Seconds into flight, everything continues to be nominal with Starship. We're just passing through 3-kilometer altitude. Next major event is shutdown of engine number 3. Plus 2 minutes, flight continuing on Starship. As a reminder, this is a test flight to a 10-kilometer altitude. Engine number 3 shut down on time as planned. We're continuing to climb on 2 engines. Everything continues to go well with Starship.
Good engine performance so far.
T plus 3 minutes 20 seconds. We've shut down engine 2 on time. You saw that on the screen just a few seconds ago. Starship now climbing on the power of engine number 1, headed to the 10-kilometer altitude. T plus 4 minutes. Vehicle is at 10 kilometers. It is at apogee. We're continuing to throttle down engine number 1 to hold altitude. We're preparing for handover on the propellant tank. Four and a half minutes, we are handing off to the LOX tank. We are beginning to flip to horizontal. And the white cloud, the plume you were seeing was intentional. That is a liquid oxygen dump. We've now transitioned to horizontal and beginning the subsonic test portion of the flight, where we check out the aft and the forward flaps to hold the vehicle stability as we descend back to the landing pad. T plus 5.5 minutes. Starship continuing the subsonic descent, using the forward and aft flaps to control its attitude as we come back down to the landing pad. Everything continuing to go well in this portion of flight.
Land intro.
6 minutes, 10 seconds into flight. We're down beneath 1.5 kilometers. We're preparing to restart 2 engines, flip the vehicle vertical, then transition to 1 engine for the landing burn.
Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you have any ideas for future videos, let me know. I read all your comments. P.S. If you're still watching, you're awesome. If you'd like early access, exclusive videos, regular Q&As, our private Discord server and more, consider supporting the channel at patreon.com/solvingthemoneyproblem so I can keep creating content for you guys. There's a link in the description. You can now also become a member of the channel for some exclusive perks. To learn more, click the join button next to subscribe. And don't forget to check out our merch store. Either way, the best form of support is you being here and watching, so thanks again.